With the 17th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, your New England Patriots select Oregon cornerback Christian Gonzalez. And just like that, the era of the dominant outside corner is back in New England. Stick around. You're about to be locked in to the Locked On Patriots podcast.
You are Locked On Patriots, your daily New England Patriots podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello to all of you Foxborough faithful. Welcome to the draft day edition of the Locked On Patriots podcast. Of course, we are a proud part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. So subscribe or follow for free on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts to get the latest episode as soon as it's available. Today's episode, folks, brought to you by Ultimate Football GM. If you've ever dreamed of being an NFL GM and managing your football franchise, this game is definitely for you. To download the game, just visit ultimate-gm.com or look it up on the app stores. Our listeners get a 100% free boost to their franchise when using the promo code LOCKEDON in all caps in the game. Patriots fans, as the late, great Gorilla Monsoon once said, the time for the talk has ended, and the 2023 NFL Draft is underway, and so is our coverage here on Locked On Patriots. I'm your host, Mike Debate, and I cover your New England Patriots for Patriots Country of Sports Illustrated. So reach out to me and let me know what's on your mind on Twitter at MDABATENFL. And while you're out there showing some love to the Twitterverse, please be sure to follow the Locked On Patriots account as well at LO_Patriots. Pats fans, thank you so much for taking time out to join us here on Locked On Patriots today, especially all you everydayers out there. I see you all in the comments identifying yourselves proudly as everyday listeners of Locked On Patriots. We couldn't do this without you everydayers. Thank you so much. And for all of you first-time listeners and your occasional listeners, we appreciate you and all the time you invest into Locked On Patriots as well. And Pats fans, it is an exciting day to be a Patriots fan with their selection at number 17 in the 2023 NFL Draft. The Patriots adding Oregon cornerback Christian Gonzalez to a promising but unrefined young group of cornerbacks. We're going to get to them in just a moment. We're also going to get to the fact that the Patriots may have procured a potential opening day steal who just happens to be pretty anxious to play in New England. Again, more on that in a moment, but Christian Gonzalez coming to New England is huge. He was originally projected as a possible top 10 selection. Gonzalez surprisingly finding himself falling to the Pats at pick 17. In fact, you might be a little confused by this if you didn't see the draft last night, because a lot of you were probably wondering the Patriots had the 14th pick. Well, just prior to the 14th pick being announced, the Patriots traded down in this draft 3 places with the Pittsburgh Steelers before choosing the highly touted Ducks cornerback. Now, the Patriots traded number 14 to the Steelers for the selection at 17, also picking up a 4th rounder at number 120 overall. Not a bad night at the office for Bill Belichick, but given Belichick's history, you kind of had to expect that a trade down was coming, at least a draft day trade of some sort. During his 22 years at the helm in New England, traded 86 times on draft day. By comparison, the Philadelphia Eagles are the next in line at 67. So Bill Belichick now pulling off 87 draft day trades. And needless to say, I think he was surprised that Gonzalez was still there. Gonzalez was surprised that he was still there as well. We asked him about that during our meeting with him shortly after being drafted by video conference. And he said a little bit when they asked him about whether or not he found it a little odd that he was moving down the draft board. But he said, everything happens for a reason. The Patriots put their trust in me. I'll put that trust back. If you listen to yesterday's pod, you know that Christian Gonzalez was on the top of my list of defensive players that I love to see in New England. And I, for one, think this is not only a great pick to energize the fan base, but folks, most importantly, I think Christian Gonzalez has the chance to become a Patriots stalwart in that secondary, at least the most versatile, the most athletic corner that they've had since the departure of Stephon Gilmore. All respect to J.C. Jackson, who I thought did a great job here. Christian Gonzalez is the total package. He can play man, he can play cover, well-sized, 6'1", 197 pounds, got the height, the length. He can match up against opposing teams' top receivers on the outside, and that's exactly what he's going to do here in New England. That athleticism that he possesses, full display during the pre-draft workout session, 9.95 relative athletic score, folks. That is off the charts. 41.5 vertical jump, 4.38 40-yard dash. Those are key components. He's smooth, great vertical jump, and definitely has the speed to hang with a lot of the top pass catchers in this league. So as far as statistics, Gonzalez can put them up. He finished his 2022 season having compiled 35 tackles, 4 interceptions, 4 passes defensed. Kid also worked an awful lot on his ball skills. Just a tremendous, tremendous talent. And I know the Patriots are absolutely thrilled to have him, as we all are here in New England, to welcome Christian to the fold. He's also no stranger to special teams. Do not think that eluded Bill Belichick's eye. Played on Oregon's punt return unit and field goal blocking coverages. So this kid can do it all, jack of all trades. But folks, we're just scratching the surface on Christian Gonzalez here on Locked On. In just a moment, we're going to take a look at what others had to say, teammates as well as opponents. A lot of people have him considered to be the best cornerback in this draft. Stay locked into Locked On Patriots to find out. But first, folks, today's episode is brought to you by Ultimate Football GM. And as Patriots fans, you know how difficult it is to build a professional sports dynasty. I mean a true dynasty, not a couple of championships here and there. I mean 2 decades of glory. What do you think? Do you think the Patriots took a step toward restoring the glory days by drafting Christian Gonzalez? I know a lot of you are excited about that, folks, and I don't blame you. Well, you can try your hand at general management with Ultimate Football GM. My colleagues and I at the Locked On Podcast Network had an absolute blast competing in this game. I know that you will too. With Ultimate Football GM, you're responsible for controlling the destiny of your franchise by hiring the right coaches and coordinators, managing the finances, navigating your franchise through free agency, the draft, injuries, player personnel issues, anything you can think of. Ultimate Football GM has you covered, and you're going to experience it. The best part is it's all in a challenging and realistic game world. It's completely free, and it's even playable offline. So you can play on the go as you want when you want to. Locked On Patriots listeners, listen up, because you get a 100% free boost to your franchise when you use the promo code Locked On in all caps in the game store. That's Locked On in all caps, so make sure to check it out today. To download the game, just visit ultimate-gm.com or look up on the app stores. That's ultimate-gm.com. Ultimate Football GM. Start your dynasty today. Patriots fans, thank you once again for joining me here on Locked On Patriots. It is a lot of fun when we're able to talk about prolific Patriots and prolific Patriots draft picks. Christian Gonzalez definitely tops that list, folks, without any question. And don't forget, here across the Locked On Podcast Network, join my good friends and co-hosts Kyle Krebs, Joe Marino, and other Locked On NFL local experts for live NFL draft coverage presented by Ultimate Football GM. Kyle and Joe will have live coverage of rounds 2 and 3 beginning at 6:30 Eastern tonight. That's Friday night on YouTube on the Locked On NFL Scouting page. Tomorrow on Saturday, they'll get you caught up live after each round starting at 11:30 Eastern. So subscribe to Locked On NFL Scouting with the Draft Dudes to get notified when they go live. And again, Patriots fans, we are all excited about the addition of Christian Gonzalez to the Patriots secondary. But many of you out there, I'm sure, are wondering, what are the Patriots really getting in Christian Gonzalez? Well, in a lot of respects, sometimes you have to keep your friends close and your enemies closer to find out the true identity. And recently, at the NFL Combine, as a matter of fact, my colleague at Sports Illustrated, Daniel Flick, spoke with a trio of former teammates and opponents who've been around Gonzalez to gather some opinions about what exactly he brings to the table. And folks, the returns match those of the draft experts. Stanford receiver Michael Wilson, he's been an all Pac-12 honorable mention and a potential top 100 draft pick. In my opinion, he should go. Daniel asked him about Gonzalez, and he didn't hide his feelings at all. He said, quote, I think Christian Gonzalez is probably the best corner I've ever gone against. I feel like he's one of those guys that's sort of a unicorn, doesn't really have any weaknesses in his game. And that's something coming from Michael Wilson, who is definitely a contested catch machine. He's had his injury histories, which is probably causing him to slip a little bit in the draft. But this kid has top level skill. And for him to give that kind of praise to Christian Gonzalez, that should tell you something. Gonzalez was also lauded by USC cornerback Mekhi Blackman. He was a teammate of Gonzalez in 2020 and 2021 at Colorado before each of them transferred out. Very forthcoming in his praise. He said he's long, he's fast, he's a great athlete, he's fluid. He also has the technical side and he can compete. That's something that is definitely a feather in the cap. When you can get one of your competitors to actually laud you like that, says something about who you are. And Christian Gonzalez is getting a lot of praise from teammates and from opponents. Bottom line, there's a lot to like about this kid, but you're really finding out what a cornerback is made of when you can get a level of praise from an opposing quarterback. And BYU quarterback Jaron Hall, essentially what he did is call him a great player. I couldn't find a lot of flaws in his game at all, no weaknesses. Any side of the field he's on, you have to be aware of him. Great player. Folks, when you take a look and you hear these types of levels of praise coming from opposing quarterbacks, opposing wide receivers, fellow cornerbacks that you're competing against, that's when you know that you're getting a solid player. Folks, continue to keep your eye. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch this kid, to see what he can do and see what he's going to be able to do in the league. And Blackman wasn't done when we went back to talk about what Gonzalez and he were able to do together. And then afterwards, you know, as competitors, he said, he's a real explosive dude. I feel like he helped me grow as a leader. He's a real fluid athlete, and I know he's going to have a great career in this league. So once again, folks, Patriots fans, we're all thrilled that Christian Gonzalez is a great pickup for the fan base, and we're all thrilled to have him in New England. But Christian is happy to be here as well. And in a moment, you're going to hear Christian's thoughts on Coach Bill Belichick when this episode of the Locked On Patriots podcast wraps up. But first, folks, today's episode brought to you by our good friends over at Built.com. Folks, if you're looking for a delicious snack but don't want all of the sugar and all of the calories that go along with it, then you need the best tasting protein bar ever, and that's Built. I keep saying it all the time, folks. If you haven't tried Built, you've got to try it. If you're like me and you want to make healthier snack choices, but you don't want to compromise on taste, Built is the thing for you. What makes them so good? Well, for starters, they're all covered in 100% real dark chocolate, but it goes beyond that. I'm not sure how Built does this, but these bars taste like a candy bar, but they maintain amazing macros. What's even better is they're healthy, 130 calories on average, but only 4 grams of sugar with a whopping 17 grams of protein. Talk about the best of all worlds. Built does it. And now you don't even need to wait to get a box. For years, we've been talking about ordering Built bars at Built.com, but now you can get them at your local Walmart or your local Sam's Club, while you can still get your specialty flavors at Built.com. So head to your nearest Walmart today, walk to the pharmacy section, grab yourself a box of Built bars. You can pick up a 4-bar box of cookies and cream, double chocolate, or coconut puff. And if you're close to a Sam's Club, run in and grab a 13-bar box with our hit flavors, brownie batter puff, and churro puff. Folks, you can thank me later. Don't delay. Do it today. Built.com. That's fans. Thank you once again for starting your day in style here on Locked On Patriots. Don't forget that later here today on the pod, we'll be taking a deeper dive into the Patriots selection of Christian Gonzalez, our good friend, the legendary Count of Murphy Fisto himself. Thomas Murphy joins me to talk about what it all means for the Pats. And we're going to make some of our day 3 predictions as well. So stick around and stay locked into Locked On Patriots. But first, folks, we've talked about Christian Gonzalez and the prowess he brings to the field and the skill set he brings to the field. We've also talked about what some of his opponents, what some of his teammates, former teammates, have had to say about him and some of the praise they've been so eager to heap on him. But when you consider his resume, it really should come as no surprise that Christian Gonzalez is eager to work with head coach Bill Belichick. Christian's face lit up when asked about Bill Belichick, the video conference that we had with him shortly after he was selected. And he says, I'm very excited to play under Bill Belichick. You can't really get a better coach than that. He elaborated, went on further. He says, I'm excited for the opportunity to learn from the best. Great atmosphere, good ball gets played up there. Christian Gonzalez knows the value of New England football. He knows that when you walk through the doors in Gillette, in Foxborough, that it's all business. And that's something that I think not only he embraces, but I think it's something that he's looking forward to. And look, Bill Belichick is undoubtedly and maybe even equally elated to add Christian Gonzalez to his defensive backfield for the upcoming season and hopefully beyond. Let's not forget the New England secondary had a number of injuries to key players throughout the year last year, especially a cornerback. Jalen Mills missed 7 games due to a groin injury. Jalen's back in the fold. He's more than likely going to slot over and play some safety. So if that's the case, Jonathan Jones is probably going to get the other side of the perimeter when it comes to the defensive backfield, especially at the cornerback position. And look, Jonathan can definitely do it. He tied for the league lead, or I should say the team lead in interceptions with 4 last year. Jack Jones, Marcus Jones, they showed enough prowess as rookies to indicate a bright future there. They each grabbed a pair of interceptions respectively. I think Marcus is more of a slot weapon. Jack could be effective in nickel packages, maybe even throw him into some safety in a little bit as he gets to learn the position a little bit better. And then I can see him being a perimeter ball hawk. But at the same time, I think Christian Gonzalez is shaping up to make an impact right away. And at that point, you really can't do better than this kid and what he brings to the table as a rookie. He's at his best in man coverage, but his ability to maintain eye contact with the quarterback, I think, is what's going to make him an asset in zone as well. At the very least, Christian Gonzalez believes in himself. He believes that he can provide the Patriots with a player who's not only ready to learn, but also someone who's ready to perform. And he didn't mince words. When we asked him what he believes he brings to the table, how would he describe himself? That impromptu self-description just moments after being chosen in the NFL draft. I thought Christian showed a great deal of poise and a great deal of self-awareness. He said, I'm somebody that's versatile, fast, long, tall, can move around, somebody that loves to learn and just wants to learn all of the nuances of the defense and how they all build together. Folks, he already sounds like a New England Patriot. And to the delight of the Patriots and all of their fans all over right now, let's hope that Christian Gonzalez will be helping to build and fortify New England's defense for the foreseeable future. Pats fans, we have just scratched the surface when it comes to talking Christian Gonzalez. Tune in later here today because we'll be talking about that with our good friend Murph, and we'll be making some predictions for day 2 and day 3. Stay locked into Locked On Patriots for all of your draft-related coverage, and all of the national coverage you can handle will be covered by our good friends at Locked On NFL across the Locked On Podcast Network. So in the interim, please continue to stay safe, stay well, and be the change you wish to see in the world. Once again, folks, I am your host, Mike Debate, and I thank you very much for spending this time here today, especially all of you everydayers out there. But in the meantime, thank you for joining me here this morning. Have a great day, everyone, and we'll see you next time right here on Locked On Patriots.